3SFX presents the Indoob podcast with your host, T. Sterling Watson.
Good morning, Indoobians. I'm T. Sterling Watson.
And I'm Courtney.
This is the Indoob podcast, where drive time meets late night talk show as we aim to entertain, enlighten, and provide an auditory escape with knowledge and nonsense. Thank you for stopping by and pressing play. We're recording live from wherever. How are you, Courtney? Welcome back. And hey, everybody, welcome back. We are back. This is episode, it doesn't matter, but we are back because, I think it's 178, I think, because I've been putting out things right. And I think so. And it's been like 177.3, like for me, for labeling purposes. So
gotcha.
But yeah. It's been a long time since you and I have soaked. We soaked.
Satin. Okay. Soaked, satin, whatever.
It's been a long time since we sat down and just talked like amongst bros or pals.
I know it's been way longer than I was looking at the calendar. I was like, oh, it's been a minute, like a long minute.
And it's just now occurring to me that in the past that we've done episodes like within the Thanksgiving time and done like Friendsgiving time. But it's just you and me. You're my dearest, bestest friend. So we just sit and chat and also just catch up. Well, you and I, we have already talked, but as for the Indoobians out there,
whom I've missed greatly.
greatly, because I did put out an episode last week. It was just kind of a compilation of sorts. I don't know why I'm explaining it as if people who don't already subscribe to the podcast have never heard it, but I just want to let them know that wasn't a normal kind of episode, even though it's something not outside of what I would do. Because, it's my podcast. I do what I want.
Yeah, right. Gotta shake things up a bit every now and then, keep people on their toes.
And with that, that's a great transition. How did you feel about our new intro?
Okay, so I loved it. And I was like, what is this? And then I'm over here jamming because you still, I get why you wouldn't let me hear it. But I'm like, I want to hear it because you told me about it. And then you just play it and it's awesome.
And I will, and I'm not putting you on the spot or anything because I do know probably around the time I sent it to you, things were a little busy.
Okay, so it was on me. Got it. Cool.
But no, it was around a time of celebrations, but also preparations for celebrations. So listening to audio files, and I think it probably would have landed better if I sent it to you like I sent like a recent video to you. Another project I've been working on. I've been in just the creative heights, especially this past week. So so I think it got lost within all of the hubbub,
maybe.
Hubbubaloo. Right.
Sure.
It got lost in the fray.
Sure.
So I completely understand, and that's fine. It's all good. And you voted, as well as a few other trusted people within my circle. Like they're like, yeah, go ahead, do the new intro. Like I literally have 2023 intro, and here we are in the
not 2023s.
Right. We're in the bottom scrapings of 2022. Although I feel like that's more like the last couple of days of the year, but whatever, just go with it. So
yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So we got the new intro because I was ready for something new. Like I need something fresh. So I didn't want to completely abandon the old intro. So that's why it started to sound like the same, but it wasn't. So
I liked it. And I liked that it was a whole different vibe, but still a lot of the same old elements. So I like a fresh intro.
Right. And that's what I was going for, something fresh, something to be like, hey, we're here, we're alive, we're going to have some fun, and let's do it. So hopefully you got that vibe, and you, dear listener, hopefully you got the vibe too, that like, oh, they're about to get down, they're about to do something, and I'm ready for it. So here we are.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So rather than beat around the bush and such, and I'm not necessarily putting you on the spot because you knew this was coming, but I have to say congratulations.
Thank you.
You are now a whole wife.
A whole wife, bro.
Right.
I'm a whole wife. Like I have a husband now.
For how long now? Like from like today until like it's been almost a month. It's been like what, 2 weeks? I'm looking at a calendar.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. So almost 3 weeks now. Still very much a newlywed. Crazy.
Yes, I would say so. And I even asked my parents that question, like, when do you no longer consider yourself a newlywed?
I don't know.
And I forgot what their answer was, and there might have been something cutesy because I mean you've talked to my mother before, so you kind of know they're like, oh, we still consider ourselves newlyweds, and they've been married like 78 years. So.
Yeah, I knew an answer like that would have come from her, which I love it.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I guess because I think the question came up because like I don't want to say recently celebrated my first anniversary, but it was this year. So like we've been married a year. So I'm like, when does that newlywed title end? Or I don't know. So,
well, I'm kind of with your mom. I think you should stay in the newlywed honeymoon phase, like your entire marriage. But officially, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some arbitrary time frame because, like, in the U.S., the day you turn 18, you're an adult, which we all know is just poppycock. So I don't know. It's probably some arbitrary date out there.
Probably maybe like a year and 8 months. Like for whatever reasons, probably some exact day because of Victorian times. Like, oh, you are no longer newlyweds.
Yeah.
Because, pompous and
right.
over the words, and jowls were getting in the way of when they spoke, and they had those huge tutus around their necks. So now your wedding was a very outdoorsy one because I saw the pictures, and I described it as like, this is the first wedding that I saw where you had to hike to the location. And but yeah, I mean, you can clarify. I'm just generalizing and summing up. But what adventure was this wedding?
Actually, wasn't all that adventurous. So the place itself was a really obscure trail that it's kind of one of those things where if you don't know about it, you'll easily pass it. And I've been out there. It's about 30 minutes from home, which is not that bad, but it's not like up the street. But so you get there and you have to, from the parking lot, you have to walk about 15 minutes to get there. And it's an easy walk if you are, pretty mobile and you're able to, walk on a trail, like, because most of the trail is paved, but there comes a point where the paved part ends, and then you're just like in the rugged, just earth. Now, it's not super like strenuous, but like I walked out there in tennis shoes. I was in my whole wedding attire except for my wedding shoes, like my heels, which I changed when I got to like a safe spot. But I was just walking in my wedding dress and a bouquet and tennis shoes, and it was great. But
yeah, it was kind of cinematic in a way. Like it seemed like it was some kind of indie movie, like behind the scenes, but also like what's happening. I mean, obviously I knew what was happening, but just the way that my mind kind of wandered. And I mean, you pull it off great. You look beautiful. Just absolutely stunning. I loved the red jacket that you had over that obviously went with the sneakers that you wore, but you pull it off very well. So
thank you. Yeah. I'm glad we kind of settled on that because we looked for traditional venues, but most of the venues that we found that may have worked were either booked or because we had a very short engagement, and so like we were engaged for 6 weeks, so we needed something pretty quick on a quick turnaround. And so either the venues that we wanted were booked, or they were way, way out of our budget because weddings cost a whole lot of money. And wedding venues are just, I mean, they may be worth it, but to us, it was not
they
worth
sit there
it
with
to spend.
rakes. I said they sit there with rakes just to like rake in your cash.
Oh, raking the money. Yeah.
Right.
There was one place that I've always wanted to get married at because it's like right up the street from my house, but it's like dead in the city, but it's and right off of a busy road, but it's so well like nestled and so like far off the road that it just seems like it's out in the country and it's outside and it's perfect. Well, I looked up the prices and I think their starting package was at like 10 grand. And now granted, if you booked with them, which I believe they had the date available, and I was like real tempted, but then I was like, no. But they I think it was a full package where you got a photographer, you had food within the package, you had decoration, so you had enough flowers. So I think you had everything within that package. So it was all inclusive, which wedding planning can be very stressful and there's a lot of moving parts. But I mean, because even with our very small, very intimate wedding, there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of like decisions to be made. But I think the appeal of doing something like that one place that was 10 grand is that, you have kind of a team that does it for you. But I just I can't, that is not in my budget.
Right.
Never was in the budget. But so I love the fact that we had this other place. We had actually put money down for, it was like a cute little wedding gazebo, very cute, but not what we wanted ultimately. And so we decided, well, this is our favorite spot. We like to come out here and just relax and hang out, and we can make this work. So we were like, oh my God, that's what we're going to do. So because it was a public, not very well known place, but still a public place, there's what am I trying to say? The opportunity for folks to go out there and the very real possibility that could be. But there was a bad storm the night before the wedding, like tornadoes, and thunderstorms and just hail everywhere. And I think that because that also ushered in like a lot of cooler air. And so I think the mixture between the bad storm and us getting there like hours earlier than the ceremony and just it being cooler, I think that helped to kind of deter people from coming as early as they normally would have. So it just worked out. It just worked out and it was perfect.
I do recall you kind of requesting a entire prayer circle for good weather because I didn't even know about the tornadic activity that was happening. Nice.
Yeah.
Tornadoes are bad, but I love the word tornadic. It's just it's
a cool word.
Okay, there we go.
There you go. But yeah, so we couldn't even tell it had rained out there. So I'm wondering if it didn't rain as bad or if it didn't rain at all out there. I don't know, but we couldn't tell that it had rained the night before, just 30 minutes outside of where that location was. So it worked out so well. It was perfect.
It did. I mean, again, the photos look great. I was surprised that I think you did text me at all. I wasn't expecting to hear from you at all. I'm like, oh, what's she doing? Why? But I thank you. And you had a lovely, fantastic time. And I guess one final question. I already know the answer, but just to say, like, why November the 5th? Remember the 5th of November.
The 5th of November. Well, because
the poem. I jest.
No, I mean that's just like the icing on top of the cake. But it's because that is our anniversary for our dating anniversary. And the story behind November 5th is we can't actually remember if it's November 5th that we started dating or November 10th. And so each year and every few months we'd be like, so when's our anniversary? I don't know. And so we would say he'd say the 5th, I would say the 10th. And then we'd be like, okay, whatever. And then a couple months later, we'll ask again, what was our date and anniversary? He'd say the 10th, I'd say the 5th, and we'd switch places. It's just crazy. So we're just like, okay, once and for all, we're going to choose November 5th. This is the date that we choose to commemorate our coming together. And so then we wanted to have that as our wedding date, just because it's also our it's just our date. So
allegedly, but yes,
allegedly, no, it is not allegedly. It is.
It is now, but prior to this momentous occasion.
Who knows?
I mean,
at this point?
I wish you'd talk to me about this. I have ways in helping to remember when like days happened or like, oh, was that a Monday? Was that a Tuesday? Yeah, But hey, it's done. It's done.
I figure if I can't remember, there's nothing that I don't think you would remember.
I mean, it's not that I would remember, but I would give you the tools to help you. Like, where were you? Like, did this happen? Did you go home and watch a certain thing that you can only watch on a Thursday?
I've gone through the whole chain of thought, and I cannot remember. Like, so we actually met online, and I have since, there's actually a dating app. And so I have since deleted the dating app. So I'm like, well, that's not going to work because you delete the app and all your stuff goes with it. And so I could
quick thing. Ashley's upset with me because I did the same thing and she wanted to save like my first message to her.
Oh,
yeah.
And that's another thing too, because he swears up and down that he was the first one to reach out to me. And I'm like, no. I remember reaching out to you. But so the specific app that it was, I think he might have reached out. I don't know. But now this is a forever. We'll just have to. It's a he said, she said, because we have no proof, and none of us have that good of a memory.
That is a good like pitch, at least to these dating apps, to be able to recover things like that. Especially like, hey, we are getting married thanks to your app. Can you look up this information? Because I mean, I feel like hopefully that's something that Hinge does, because their whole advertising scheme is like exactly. So hopefully that's something that these apps can kind of pick up on. Like, hey, let's actually, not in a creepy way, but at least make a memory or record their first like interaction. And if it works out, then we have that information for you. We have all your letters to each other, your letters. Good Lord, how old am I?
Your messages. Yeah, you're very old.
Your messages.
It's cool.
I almost said correspondence next, and that wouldn't have helped me. So.
I feel like that's just as bad. I don't know.
I mean, I've become 87 suddenly. But I mean, we've discussed this before. We are old people. Like,
yes, we are.
You'll sit in the corner and knit. I will watch old movies.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Yeah. Just
do you remember that time when Twitter? Disappeared.
I mean, congratulations to you. I mean, I'm going to give you this because you did a great segue for going into talking about Twitter, because you did ask me, actually you asked me Saturday. I remember, because I remember where I was. See, granted,
whatever.
This is only less than a week, not several years ago. Anyway, you did ask me what's going on with Twitter. People are still they might be overhearing it. Like, what's happening? Is it burning down? Is it ending? I know Elon bought it. What's happening? And it's still existing. In fact, like, I still go onto the app every so often, but I'm not really interacting as much, only because I've found, which is currently called Black Twitter, like officially Black Twitter. That is what it's called. Now, there's been many people within the app who are like, we're not sure if Elon can get a little litigious and might want to sue you. But if that's the case, I mean, people are offering suggestions of what to call it. I think I voted for Blackbird. I like that one.
I like that one.
Yeah. So
I actually like that a lot.
I really do too. Someone had mentioned it and other people started kind of chiming in, but they've given suggestions. I have no idea if the creator, whose name is Jordana, I don't know if she's actually been taking any of these suggestions down, if there's any kind of process in place, at least to get a copyright or trademark, or do whatever she needs to do just to make sure that this space continues, because this community is growing. As far as I know, as of tonight, I think it's up to 13,000 people
Oh, wow.
that are active. Well, I don't want to say they're actively using it because
But they're on there.
they're on there. They have an account.
Mhm.
I will say that there have been at least a couple trolls, but people have been swift and like, hey, this is good vibes only. You're reported, get out, block. One of which was just an egregious, just like they had a strobe light, like a strobe color effect thing. And it actually messed with me for like a couple hours after looking at it for like a few seconds. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. It was maybe a little bit nauseous. Like, it was like, okay, this is not cool. Like,
And
I don't have.
How's that even possible to have that on that sort of app?
I mean, at first it was just like their avatar, like their profile picture. And then they also had like the headline picture too. Like you can have GIFs as those things. So the GIF that they were using was nothing but flashing bright colors. And they would just start commenting on people's on other people's, I'll say tweets. So you can't help but see it. The tweets themselves were nonsense. Either it was like either some gobbledygook code. Sometimes it was something racist, and just like, yep, you got to go. Like,
you're out of here.
Report and block. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Ugh.
But I gotta say the community's great. I really love it, and you can just go on there and be your blackety black self, and somehow, some way, I am verified on there,
which is pretty cool.
It is.
Now I'm mad that I didn't join on day one too, so I can also be verified for free. Ugh.
I mean, I did what I could, and this was post wedding, so you're still on your cloud. You're still floating. So
I'm just now starting to be like, oh yeah, okay. So life is happening. Maybe I'm okay to rejoin society. But only now, and that's kind of cool. I mean,
and this would be the place to rejoin because it's still new. It's still like kind of getting in on the ground floor. And
that's true.
At least
not as noisy, I bet.
It isn't. And the noise that happens, it's good noise. Like it's welcoming noise.
Yeah.
And
I can't wait.
Oh yeah. The app itself is still being built. So even when it comes to notifications, you're not going to get them unless you're actually in the app and you see the little bell. I mean, it's the way she designed it. It really does look like Twitter, like in just the layout. I guess one of the best features is the cookout tab. And that is basically where you can go and see everybody's tweets. So on your homepage is just the people that you follow. And if you don't follow anyone, it's probably just going to be Jordana, who is the creator. It's kind of like Tom from MySpace. So,
yeah.
And so if you go to the cookout, you'll see everybody who's tweeting or just sharing posts, pictures, GIFs, videos, which don't have a limit, by the way. So it's good, and it's still in its infancy. So treat it with care. Don't be too demanding. I'm just talking to people in general that will hear this and be like, "Hey, where is this?" And it is one person, one woman who is just taking her time. I don't want to say taking. Well, she is taking her time. She's doing what she has to do. I don't know if she has another job, but I mean.
Well, no, I'm glad she did it, and I hope, because I was wondering that too. Like, I don't know that she can actually use the name, because I know that's trademarked and everything. But I'm glad that she's got something going, and I mean, a name can easily be changed. That's not a problem. So
right. And I mean, with the community that she has, I don't want to say she started, but she's got so many people behind her that there's definitely that we would like rally up to be like, yes, go ahead. Let's take Black Twitter, like ending with an A. That's one of the other suggestions. And so at least we got her. And of course there's a donation page, which I have definitely donated and will continue to keep doing so, just to make sure that, I mean, every day there's been some improvements, some changes. The app runs a little faster sometimes. And as long as you know that only one person is running this and just building it from scratch, that kind of puts things in perspective. So you kind of,
and be patient.
Right. Rather than, I mean, we have so many names. I think we've been calling it Elon's Twitter or Blue Twitter, basically the OG Twitter. If that goes down or that crashes, then we're like, well, we know why that is. So, but I never really did get into the story of what happened. In case people didn't know, long story short, I almost said Eli Manning. Wow, what is happening to me? what is his name? Elon Musk. Yes. He
That
bought
guy.
Twitter for 44 billion, ended up taking over like the main board. And a lot of the like executives ended up just resigning, and the ones that were still there, he fired. And then he gave some crazy demand for, I forgot even what it was, but if you didn't meet that demand, then you would have to leave by like Friday. So people just resigned. Like, yeah, I can't meet those standards or those
Yeah.
hardcore deadlines.
Right.
He allowed people for $8 to be verified and get your own blue check mark. And that was hilarious because a lot of like fake accounts came up and started wreaking havoc on trusted brand names that we all know and love, or people. So like people like W. Bush saying that he misses like I don't know, bombing Iraq or something. I don't know, just things that they would normally never say.
Yeah.
So it was definitely like, oh wow, this is really not going well for you, is it? So it was something. So I think that may have went away. I don't know if that's still around. It's still a thing. But I don't know. I feel like it's touch and go. A lot of the former Twitter employees talked about how they were already kind of just barely keeping everything together. And I think someone even compared it to like, yeah, this thing is built on like toothpicks, so it can like break at any minute.
Yeah.
So
That's what that's the impression I'm getting, because I had heard bits and pieces before I asked you, and I was just like, I'm not about to search this out. Just Sterling knows what's going on. So that's why I just came straight to the source. Okay. And I was like, okay, this is you filled in some of the pieces that were missing, but that's about the gist that I had received. Also, was just Elon came in, swooped in, took over, and it's been on fire ever since. And I kind of love it. I love Twitter, but I didn't love the new leadership. So
I know.
yeah.
And I still go because like it's the fastest way that I get my news. So whatever's trending, I'll see why it's trending. But at the same time, I'm not sure. And I think I also told you that 45 recently got reinstated, at least on Twitter.
Yes.
And as far as I know, last I heard, he still hasn't actually quote anything. So doing
didn't
all
he start
this,
his own social media or something?
He did. Yeah. Truth Social is what it's called.
Yeah. Maybe he's still there. He's probably still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened. I'm saying you like my soundboard as if I'm showing it to you, but yeah, I'm able.
I love it.
This one feels cleaner. It's nicer than the other one. No offense to the other one. The other one, he built that from scratch, but it was just a little difficult for me to get to and use. But this is going pretty well. So I'm gonna move along to
Black History. Facts.
So today is going to come off as a recommendation, but it's not quite a recommendation. It's absolutely a recommendation. But my Black History fact is a documentary / personal essay film from Elvis Mitchell, who I'm not sure who I didn't actually research who he is, but on Netflix, there is a film called Is That Black Enough for You? I don't know if I emphasized it enough because it's got a question mark, an exclamation point, and a question mark. So is that black enough for you? Sorry.
That's better.
I'm thinking that's better. Okay.
Thank you for doing better. Like, come on.
Right.
Give it your all. Okay.
Those question marks and exclamation point is there for a reason. So, I mean, if they had it, they probably would have used an interrobang because it's right there. Yeah.
It's right there. I don't think everybody is hip to the interrobang though. So, we don't want to scare the people. Okay. Blackness
true.
Well, blackness in a title is scary enough. And so to put a whole grammatical, what's
punctuation that they're not used to.
Yes. We don't want to just overwhelm the people. Okay.
And you're right, because that would just kind of feed into the stereotype that we're already like angry. But
yeah.
Well, that said, a lot of the films kind of do address that. I'm sorry. Let me back up a little bit more because this film is about the black films that came out from 1968 to 1978 that do include some of the black exploitation films that we know, like Shaft and Superfly, and but a bunch of movies before that too. Even the emergence of Sidney Poitier and oh my God, why did his name suddenly just Belafonte? There we go, Harry Belafonte. And when he disappeared, but also came back because he wanted to do specific films that just, uplifted black folk. So
yeah,
it was very educational. I learned a lot. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it's a total recommendation, but that is also my Black History fact, because it's just, just go in and just go learn, because you'll learn about movies that you never even heard of, but kind of now want to put on your list. I'm like, okay, I think I need to see this just to, and I already forgot the name of it, but I have a GIF of what looks like a pimp. He could be, I'm not sure, but he has the furriest, most elaborate, but also looks like the comfiest coat and a hat to match with all this fur just dangling off of it. And he's just walking around the street. He looks upset. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody got his money. I don't know. I haven't seen the film, but because of that scene alone, and because I had a GIF that was from that movie, I'm like, okay, I need to see this movie now, because I don't know what's happening, but I'm intrigued. I must see it. So
nice.
Yeah,
It sounds good.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, the documentary definitely is good. So I do recommend watching it. I mean, I'm willing to watch it again just to reabsorb and even make a list. Like, okay, this is a movie I need to see. This is a movie I've actually seen, and then just go from there. And there's a lot of interviews with a lot of your favorite actors and actresses and filmmakers of today, and how they've seen these movies and how it influenced and inspired them to get into the business. So,
oh, that sounds awesome. And what's the name of that one again?
Let's see. Is that black enough for you?
I just want to hear you say it again.
Okay. The thing about the title, though, is they even reference it within the film, and there are several people, like within the movie itself, that this title comes from. They all say it, but it all means something different for each person that says it. So
yeah,
that little part there, I think, hopefully will make better sense when you see it, because they talk about it. So I'm like, and I happen to turn to Ashley's like, hey, that's the name of the movie. So yeah. But yeah, while that was happening, and we were dog sitting, and
a little puppy, right?
Yes, and her name. Wow, why did that escape me suddenly? Fifi.
Fluffy.
Fifi was her name.
Oh, I was close.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Fluffy.
Yeah, that was Chief. But what were you gonna say? Oh my God.
I said Fluffy.
Oh,
Shush,
Fluffy.
Chief. Yeah.
She was Fluffy. She is a terrier. What kind of terrier? Why can't I think of the name of the breed that she is? And I know if Ashley was here, she would just tell me in a heartbeat. But that's fine. We're going to move on. She was adorable. She was cute. Still, needs some training. Wasn't completely housebroken, because there was an incident that did happen around, not the first night. I think it may have been like the second night that Ashley was walking in the dark and walked into a pile.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, all between the toes, betwixt the toes, as it were. Yeah.
Oh, that's worse.
So she was upset and she wanted to stamp her foot in anger, but she could not because it was now soiled.
Ew.
Yeah. So I forgot exactly what she did. I mean, she eventually, yes, did wash her foot off, but also had to clean up. I was asleep during all of this. She did apparently yell at the dog, but I missed it. I mean, I've had my own experiences with her, because I just had this habit now of whenever I woke up just to go check all the floors, all the areas. She, for whatever reason, liked the living room rug, just to defecate on that. Thank you so much.
Oh,
at least it was easy to clean. It was easy to clean. Now, Chief, he had to go to my parents' house because he was just obsessed and would not leave her alone. There was no calming agents, no separating them, because if I separated them, he would just whimper and the whimper would just be annoying. So I'm like, you have to go. We can't. We tried and it just wasn't working out. And I mean, he eventually got over it. He was fine. Even by the time we got back, didn't even know anything was, amiss. But while they were together, I mean, Fifi wanted nothing to do with him, but he wanted everything to do with her. So
yeah,
it was exhausting, very exhausting. But once we got them separated, it was fine. It was better.
Puppies are so cute, but they really are a lot of work. They're newborn, like dogs. Did you know that puppies are newborn dogs?
I've heard tell. Tail? I've heard tell. Thought there was a pun in there somewhere.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've heard rumors, and she's I think 4 years old now. And I was gonna say she's a bit yippy or yappy, but not really. She was actually pretty quiet. There was times that I feel like she does know things, like we would say sit. And it was funny because at one point when both dogs were present, and I was like, okay, both of you just sit. And they immediately just sat. I'm like, oh, this power, I yield. I love it. And it was intoxicating. I'm like, oh, now go over there. But then they wouldn't listen to me. So either way, there are certain commands, and I tried to teach her, like, how to shake hands. And you need a lot of patience to train dogs. And I only had a couple days. And I didn't have that much time because I had to go to work. So come home, maybe take her outside a little bit. And she's got such a short legs, but also like a fluffy body. So, and it like recently rained. So she got all dirty on her, I almost said her underbelly, but yeah, that's what it is, on her belly. So, and her chin, because she's very hairy. She's got hair, not fur, but so we had to kind of wash her. Then we had to brush her. Yeah. And I'm still trying to buy myself time to figure out what the breed is. And I still can't quite remember what it is. It's fine. It'll come to me later in the middle of the night, and I'll just jump on and do a quick edit. It's like, it was a foxtrot. No, it's not, but it'll come to me. But it was an experience. It was fun. And she has this thing, because she has short little legs, that when she's trying to like she wants to, get up or something, her arms are up and she looks like a teddy bear. It's crazy. It's just sickeningly adorable. So
cute though. Oh my gosh. And you have to give her back. Was that tough?
Not too much, because I think we were ready, because at least with Chief, he understands commands. He knows when it's time to go to bed. He knows how to sleep in his own bed, because that was the other thing. Fifi all wanted to sleep in our bed with us. And I'm like, no, because I can't sleep with another like dog in the bed. No.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to crush you because you're little and fluffy. So I tried all these other different methods. Like, I eventually made her sleep in her own bed, and actually was one of Chief's beds, but still not ours. You can pout and whimper and look all sad and cute if you want to, but it's not going to work. No.
Sad and cute though.
Yeah. So, I mean, we moved on. And it was okay. Like, I wasn't like sad about it. And we actually missed Chief. So we were happy to get him back. And we were just comparing the two of them. Like, they're both small dogs, but Chief is long and tall, where Fifi is short, but also kind of like plump. And like, yeah, I'm looking up a picture because I have at least maybe one, so I can send to you. And then maybe you can be like, oh, that's a so-and-so breed. I'm like, see?
Yeah.
But yeah. But no, I was fine, letting go. Like, okay, you can go back home to your mom. What happened was her mom had to go to Vegas for a wedding. And that's actually our aunt, but dog mom. So she, and I felt really honored, because she was like, I really only trust you guys with my dog. So I'm like, oh,
well, that's a high praise.
I know. I felt really special. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, we'll watch your dog, and love her like she was our own, and we did, and it was good. So, yeah, that was a good time, Fifi, and it's not on the schedule yet, but she did agree that at some point we can, take her again, maybe for some extended training. So
he's so cute. Look at that little face. He just sent me a picture of her, and I'm first of all, number one, how dare you not send me cute pictures of this puppy before now? But also, number two, thank you for finally sending pictures of the cute dog, because she's a freaking, oh my gosh, so adorable. I love her.
And she will lick the mess out of your hand and your face if she can get to it.
Ew. She got my hand, but yeah. Mm.
You say that, and then you're like, okay, you can stop licking my hand now, and she'll just keep going. So
she's just like, I don't really care about your thoughts and feelings. I'm gonna lick your hand. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. And can you recognize the breed? Because I still am struggling.
So it's kind of like a Yorkie, but her ears are.
Thank you. Yorkie.
But her ears are too pointy, so I don't. Maybe she's got some of the mix, but Yorkies have that cute teddy bear face, like the button eyes and little button nose. So she looks like a Yorkie somewhere. Like
yeah, she definitely is a Yorkie. I could not remember the name for whatever reason. It was like it's a very popular breed, but yes, Yorkie. She is a Yorkie.
Yeah, there. Gotcha.
And she looks like a teddy bear. Yes,
she does look like a little teddy bear.
And she's very cuddly like one too. Like you just want to just pick her up and just like, it just brings something out of you. So there you have it. And that was Fifi. A good time. Definitely. It was fun. Now I'm going to jump ship altogether. Because there is no segue. And I told you this was going to happen. So you're going to be mad at me for a little while, but I do want to follow up.
Okay.
Sound nervous. Because we spoke recently and you were preparing things for, I guess, I don't know if it was a luncheon or a potluck, but you made pumpkin bread.
I did. It turned out really well. Thank you very much. And
I was rooting for you. I was rooting for you.
So I
was just saying. Okay, go on.
What were you just saying? No,
I was just saying that if it was the first time making it, just make it for the family first. Just so in case there was like, hey, could you add a little of this next time? So that way you're not trying out a new thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Outside. So, my husband, because I have one of those now, but my husband also attempted to shame me. You want to lay into that a
little bit more? My husband.
I've been laying into it for a while, and it's not gotten old yet. It's pretty fun. But anyway, my new husband also shamed me because he's like, you ain't never made this before, and you making it for who? And I'm like, shut up, don't judge me. You don't know my life. So fortunately, because not only because of that, okay, the pumpkin bread, but also because I made another dish for the first time for two separate Friendsgiving get-togethers. And fortunately, both dishes, it was just green bean casserole, but I've never made this version of it before. And fortunately, all versions, or all dishes turned out really well. I even made a cream cheese icing for the pumpkin bread, which that's really what took it over the top, like delicious. But so it turned out really well in my favor. Thank you very much. But I won't do it again.
I told you I was rooting for you, but there's like a procedure that you need to go through. Like test it out on the people you love first, and if they like it, then that's signs of approval. Like because they're going to be honest with you rather than your coworkers will be honest with you too, or even Friendsgiving attendants, because it'll be left there untouched. And that'll be your judgment. And it's going to hurt more that way rather than with your family where they'd be like, nah. They
were already talking crazy to me, talking about where you get that from? Why you always do like weird food? I said, this is not weird food. This is normal. What? But they liked it too. Well, the family hasn't eaten it yet, but everybody that ate it did like it.
And Now, I'm going to circle back to the cream cheese frosting because I think that for me is what usually seals. I mean, that's my main purpose for going to Cinnabon. That's like,
Yeah.
that's the best part. Like, yes,
Yeah.
I do love the actual bun, the cinnamon and everything involved, but that icing, that is the magic. That is the crack right there. I need that.
It's really good. I'm very impressed. I've never actually made, let's see, I've made glazes, but I've never made, I guess this is technically a glaze, but I've never made icing before, like
Mhm.
frosting or icing like that before. So, and I was like, cream cheese? Ooh, I don't know, but it turned out really, really well. So I'm very pleased.
Mhm. That is also a thing, by the way. I know you just kind of went through two, because you said icing and frosting, but that
I
was a
did.
topic of discussion. It
Oh,
was a topic of, oh no, you said glaze too. And I
I
think it might
did.
have been all three of those, depending on who you ask, especially if they are bakers, all three of those are
Mm.
different things.
Well, yes, clearly I am not a baker, but but you're right. I think I don't know what the differences are though, because I've made a glaze. I don't know. Yeah, I don't
I
know
can break
what
it
the
down for you.
actual. Okay, please do.
Yes. Um, because I was going to say I'm not a baker either, but that is a complete lie because I do bake, but I don't bake professionally. But as
Yeah.
a glaze, I often think of, I mean, actually, these can all apply to donuts as well because they are like glazed donuts. It's just kind of
Right.
coating of like sugary substance that was liquid but is now hardened. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be, but it's definitely like pure syrup almost. That's what a glaze for me would be. And icing would be almost the same thing, but except
Hmm.
it's more concentrated sugar.
Okay.
And usually you can actually see it, like it does look like, oh, live, that's been iced. Like I was going to say a cake, but you can ice pretty much anything
Hmm.
really. Frosting is definitely much thicker. Like it's almost like a batter that you just have to like just plaster onto whatever bakery thing you're making, or just
Hmm.
open the tub and just go at it. So because people do that, I've done it as a child. My wife sometimes still does it now, but hey, whatever, no judgment.
Hmm.
So for me, it's all about the consistency of
Okay.
the sugary substance because let's face it, all of it is just mostly pure sugar anyway. And it's
Right.
just how much sugar I think and the consistency or the texture of that gelatinous confectionery.
Okay. Okay. I
And I
like
kind of went
those words
through
pretty. I
levels.
like those really pretty words that you just made out of your mouth.
Yeah, and hopefully, you don't suddenly have a toothache just from
Yeah.
visualizing and
Yeah.
just chomping down on all these things. Cause yeah, and I feel like there's one more that I'm missing, but I'm pretty sure those are the main three between, those toppings is
Yeah.
icing, frosting, and glaze. So
I think so. I can't think of a fourth one, but yeah, I know making the whatever it was, icing slash glaze slash frosting. I feel like it was more of an icing, but or a glaze, whatever. But it
was it
was
like it heated and liquefied at one point?
sort of because there's butter and well, yeah, because I had to kind of soften the cream cheese and butter to so that I could stir it
Did
and
you pour
like
it
make
on
it
the?
smooth. I did not pour. Yeah, I kind of did pour it. Well, I poured it just to get it out of the container, the little bowl, and then I spread it.
Mm, it's
So it
sounding
wasn't
more like a
like
frosting.
super. Yeah, I'm thinking it was more of a frosting or so because I did have to. I poured it just because of ease, but not because it was that liquidy.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It could have been I made an actual what I consider a glaze. I don't know. Anyways,
Because like a
but
glaze is like you just pour it on there and then it just solidifies after you poured it. Usually,
well,
in
but
my
that
mind.
doesn't mean it's just like super, super liquidy to begin with to me.
Mm,
Because I mean, I'm sure
okay.
like now that this frosting glaze, whatever, has been in the fridge for a day or so, I bet it is more solidified than originally.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, that actually is the end product. Usually it does become a solid, depending on whatever it
yeah,
is. Like, yeah. Because even like
yeah.
the Cinnabon, a cream cheese frosting, like I'd consider that to be a frosting.
Hmm.
That is like a soft butter, like until they put it onto the actual buns that are nice and hot. So then they actually get gooey and liquidy. But then if you let it sit, it hardens again, and it looks like it could actually be an icing by that
Yeah.
point. But it doesn't look like a glaze, because for me, glazes are clear. In my mind,
Oh,
they're
that's
clear.
true. Yeah. Or more translucent, I guess.
Right, right.
Hmm.
That, I mean, that's
I don't
also how I
know.
kind of judge what this is based on how
Yeah.
well I can see through it. So, and yes, there are people that sit here and debate such things, and we are two of those people. So,
Here we go. Yeah.
mhm. And hopefully, someone is right now just like, oh man, I can go for a donut right now.
Yeah. All of this is making me want to go eat all of the food in my house. So I'm
And this is
ready.
brought to you by Krispy Kreme Donuts, a donut that I still have not really experienced, despite them being in Connecticut for a little while. But this is Dunkin' Country, and they're like, "Nah, get that out of here." So then they left. So,
Yeah.
but no, I have not had a Krispy Kreme donut. I've seen them being made. I'm like, meh. So I have not signed on to the whole like, oh, you got to get them when they're fresh and hot. Like yeah, no, I'm good.
Right.
Meanwhile, there's people that come from like the West and they're like, yeah, Dunkin', it sucks. They're terrible donuts. I'm like, I've grown up on Dunkin'. This is my life. Leave me alone. So, because right now they have a special donut. It's cookie
What's the
butter
special
donut.
donut? Cookie butter donut. That is
Yes,
your
like
thing.
it is. There's cookie crumbles on top, and it's like frosting on top. It's actual frosting, and then cookie crumbles, and then inside the donut is the cookie butter. Oh my god! And you would think it would be like super super sweet, like it would just give you like instant diabetes, but no, it like knows where the line is and stops like
Hmm.
a few inches before it.
Oh wow. Nice. Well,
Like
you
it
have to have
hits.
balance. You gotta have balance.
You do, and restraint. So, and because these are a specialty donut, they cost a little bit more than the regular ones. And I've only had maybe two so far, and it's been
Hmm.
going on for like a couple of weeks. I've definitely had more coffees than I had donuts, and yeah, have that restraint. I did get one for the wife and kid. Well, Ashley definitely liked it, but I'm not so sure. Oh yeah, the kid liked it too, but maybe not as much because he's like this reminds me of Granddad's donut because he likes the apple cinnamon ones. So,
Hmm.
but just trying to enjoy it while it lasts. And since we're talking about this, I need to just say now that Dunkin' has won the Holiday Cookie Coffee Award this year because
Okay.
they have
I didn't know that was an award.
it just started last week. So
Gotcha.
Dunkin' has the brown sugar cookie butter or cookie whatever flavor for their coffees or
Hmm.
lattes, whatever you want. It could be just added. It's a sweetener. It's delicious.
Hmm.
Starbucks, they have what is it? The sugar cookie, whatever. I don't know. It's not hitting. It's not doing it for me. They lost this round. I'm sorry. Well, not sorry, but that's where we stand.
Sounds good.
It is. It is. I'm Duncan. They've got it. So
I've
but yeah, now
never done anything with Dunkin' Donuts.
I
I've
know. I
passed
think because
them
you
a
only
couple
have like
times.
what, one in your city?
Um, I think there's two now. We
Oh,
don't have them very often, or very, very. They're not a whole lot in the city, but I'm not a. I don't know.
I mean,
I
and
don't
that
know.
could be because here in Connecticut, it doesn't matter what city you're in. There's one every couple blocks. So
Gotcha. Isn't
it's
there isn't there a thing between Starbucks and Dunkin' though?
like a
Or is that
rivalry.
Starbucks? Yeah, or is that Dunkin' and Krispy Kreme?
Both. I
Okay,
mean,
because we have Starbucks literally everywhere, but Dunkin' Donut not so much.
Right. And that's why there's not so many Starbucks here, because Dunkin's like, this is our country.
Gotcha.
This is our region.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, there are a few Dunkins that are scattered, like, where you are. I know of like one or two that's in Florida, the whole state. And I had like a friend of mine who used to live here, but lives in Florida now, telling me that the Dunkin' down there sucks. Like, it does not taste good at all. And the service is terrible. So I don't know. So if you are one that's going to have Dunkin', either Dunkin' Donuts or Dunkin' Coffee, you probably want to come up north to where they're more prevalent. But that's if you're into that. There are people who also say that Dunkin' Coffee just tastes like pure sugar. But I think it's also, coffee itself is an acquired taste. So there's also that. Just saying.
Well, I think so I've never had their coffee either. I mean, nothing Dunkin' I've ever had, but I know Krispy Kreme is pure sugar, so literally can't eat there. And I don't even think we have anymore. I think we ran them, like, they were too sweet even for us, and we're Southerners, or maybe they just weren't that busy. I don't know why they closed. I just like to think it's because people, I don't know, snapped out of their stupor. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe they came back from their sugar high and like, what is this trash that we're eating? Get out of here.
It's just going to knock us out all the time. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, we have one last thing before we wrap up here, and we just need to get into
space.
And basically, I just want to just give a shout out, a hello to Joust, our good friend, and telescope. It's out there in space doing magical work. And I've been trying to save every like great image that I can find. Some of them I share with you, Courtney. Sometimes I'm like, that was not as, I don't want to share. If I'm going to put it on my wallpaper, like either on my phone or my computer, then I would share it with you.
Gotcha.
But if it's not one that I don't want to look at every day, then yeah. So I say that because there's been some images that came up and I'm like, and that's kind of how I feel, because we've been blown away by some really stellar, pun unintended, photos or images that like, wow. And then some of these are like, okay. And then
or
the next
like,
one is another wow.
Haven't we seen this before? Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. Like one of those images.
And even
great
some
in their own right,
They are. And yeah, you actually just nailed it too, because I think they did another version of like the pillars of creation. And I'm like, okay, I think I like the other one better, but okay. I'm not mad about it, but and then and then Hubble is still doing his thing, still taking pictures. I may not share those with you as much either, and I apologize. If anything, I will just make a copy of my current folder, because it alternates like every, I think, 30 minutes of all the images I have. And at least once a week, I'll go to space.com and then they're like, hey, new pictures of the week and whatever. And I'm like, ooh, let me see if I can find a bigger version of this so I can get the clarity, the maximum. Like, I can see all the little tiny stars, which are probably galaxies, and it's amazing. But they're doing their work. But also, you had let me know, because I was very busy, but Artemis launched.
Yes. So exciting. I think it's still traveling. Like, isn't it going to take a little while to get there? Like don't give me the lion. I was going to say a number, like.
I was going to go back to you with it anyway, because I didn't. I remember when we were following it, but I think so much was happening and it got delayed so often. I forgot.
Yeah, same. Well, I didn't know. Well, I happened to be on somewhere at just the right time, and I saw, excuse me, I saw the just an article or somebody was like, "Hey, Artemis 1 is launched," and I was like, "What do you mean it's launched?" The last time I tried this, I tried to like be present and be live. It was delayed again, and my heart was broken too many times. And then life happened, and I kind of forgot about it. And then so to find out it launched. And I wasn't even there. I was like, this is rude. But anyway, rant over. Thanks for listening, I guess.
I feel you, though. I'm with you, because I felt the same way, where I was waiting. I was, clicking update. Like I was Mark Zuckerberg at the end of the social network, just click and refresh, waiting for was like, hey, we launched, or some news, some updates, but then life was like, hey, we got other things to do here on Earth. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're leaving Earth, but still waiting for that. And it had been like so much had happened in between then. Like, I mean, again, you became a whole wife, got a whole husband. And then I forgot what Artemis's mission was supposed to be. Like, what is it supposed to be doing? Where's it going? And it's going to the moon, right? That's where it's going.
Yes. Going to the moon. I think, like I said, I think it's still en route. It takes a month. Getting there in a month sounds like a long time, but it wasn't like you go there and then tomorrow you land. It's at least the space. It was going to be an Earth month, but that I was thinking, but that's too long. So I think it's still going there. But yeah, I think they're also, so this one is unmanned. Nobody's on the Artemis. And so they're going to be doing stuff to, I guess, start the process of making the moon and setting up space stations. And I think there is a manned one, a crewed one that's supposed to be planned, but I don't know. I don't put anything past them until they like get to launching, like they're actually launching into space. But I believe that's the plan, to have a crewed mission and then to, further that research and further that project, and then like eventually go to Mars and stuff. And I'm just like, don't go to Mars. But
why don't you want to go to Mars? Well, not you, but like, why don't you want them to go to Mars?
I just need you to watch that one Doctor Who episode where there's like something that moved in the water, not moved, but like spread in the water and like infected all the people, and they all basically died, and it was very sad and really scary. So yeah, just don't.
Not the same one where there was. That's the pit of hell, like it was in there. Or
no,
is that
that's
a different episode?
Doctor Who. Yeah, different episode. I'm pretty sure that one was also Mars based. I don't really know. So much happened on that show.
There truly is. I'm slowly, and I say very slowly, trying to get Ashley on board with Doctor Who. And I think one way I can do it is if I pick out certain episodes that have actors in it that she knows.
That may work. Well, and the earlier episodes, even starting with the Ninth Doctor, they're very campy and they're very cheesy. And so the better, later in eps you get, the better they get. But I mean, I'm a purist and I say start from the beginning if you can, but I get it. Sometimes you gotta,
I'm going to hurt some people's hearts and tell them that even if I'm going to do my own personal rewatch, I'm more than likely going to skip the Ninth Doctor. And I know it hurts. The only reason why I would go back and actually watch the Ninth Doctor is because of Rose, and I feel she is very attractive, so I would watch it for her. But I would start with my favorite Doctor, Tennant, and go through that way. Even though those still have that kind of camp feel, or it has a low budget kind of feel to it.
Yeah, but
I started that.
They do get better.
They do. It's just I put it on like one night and she was like, no. And then I turned it off because she just rebuked it immediately. So I figured what I'd do, like, okay, maybe we'll just watch some things with David Tennant in it. And maybe she might start to catch on to like, hey, I like him. He's cool. I'm like, yeah, he is. Let's watch him be really cool and be the Doctor. So yeah. That's the plan.
Yeah. Well, Godspeed on your journey. She needs to watch it.
Thank you so much. I mean, I also thought about just skipping to where I left off, which is, oh my goodness, I forgot her name, but basically the first woman Doctor. I can't remember the actress's name.
Not Jodie Foster. Jodie Whittaker.
Jodie Whittaker, yes. Mm-hmm. And I've only seen a couple episodes, like from the, I don't say the new season, but like when she first started. And I definitely don't want to watch the first episode she starred in because there's some weird teeth alien monster thing that is gross. Just, I mean, there are some really disturbing episodes within the entirety of Doctor Who, but that is one that, Anyway, I want to go through that, catch up, and then get to the newest Doctor. We've got our first Black Doctor. And I'm really
Yes.
excited, interested to check that out. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. So yeah, I'm really interested and want to get to there because this is an actor that Ashley knows. So I need her to get acclimated within the Hooveners. Hoovy. Oh my God.
Or
They're
Hoovian.
okay.
Probably the
Hoovian, yes.
Hoovers, but she needs to become a Hoovian.
Yes, there we go. She needs to become a Hoovian. I mean, she's already a blurred. So just add this to your repertoire. So yeah, that is my mission. And I'll keep you guys informed how that's going. And even as I'm mentioning it, I know Love Blurs hasn't come out with a new episode, even longer hiatus than this one was on, but we're working on it. We're busy. We got stuff that we're doing, working hard. So, but yeah, I just want to give a quick, it's not time for shout outs yet. It is time for a moment of gratitude, which I still didn't make a jingle for that yet. But what are you grateful for? I know, I just jumped right into it. So sorry.
I am grateful for my friends and my chosen family and my blood family and my husband and my family, just my kids. I'm grateful. I have a lot to be grateful for, but especially family, chosen family, friends. They mean so much to me. So I'm very grateful.
I'm going to just hijack and just say ditto for all of that because
that's fine.
I'm definitely, I'm thankful for my wife, not my husband, but my wife and my one kid, but also, we did kind of adopt the other one, Fifi. So like she's our sometimes child whenever she's with us, which is only that one time, but definitely Chief. In fact, that's who I wrote down for who I'm grateful for today, because he is a reminder and proof that God will fulfill your like deepest desires, because there's only like a few people that ever knew that I wanted a Chihuahua. And the fact that one was literally given to me, knowing that like Chihuahuas are expensive as a breed if you want to purchase one, let alone just be like, hey, we've got this dog. We can't take care of it. Can you? And I was like, yes, of course. And we've been together ever since. And I am so grateful. And for me, that it's a visual representation or a manifestation that whatever it is that you are praying for, and like, just like, Lord, can I have this? That he was a reminder, being able to look at him like, okay, I got exactly what I wanted. And only God really knew that I wanted this. And that kind of kept me through like all my single years. Like there's one day I'll have a wife. Now I have a whole wife. And it's like, oh, this job sucks that I work at. And now I have a career that I actually absolutely love going to work. So yeah. And hopefully that's maybe encouraging to people out there. Just like, keep the hope alive, and I'm seeing it happen with you too. You are getting the things that you're getting all the things. And I remember something that we used to say all the time, all the things. So, and I'm very happy for you. I congratulate you again for all the happiness and more to come, and more things, more surprises, stuff, more blessings. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Thank you.
And now, I know you've been busy, but have you been able to consume anything that you would like to recommend for people to check out?
I'm still on my Sister Wives kick. That has kept me through the hecticness of planning a wedding in 6 weeks and praying that everything goes well, because, we was on a tight timeline. But check out Sister Wives, because it's getting real good, y'all. Like the tea is so hot. And oh my God, I need more people to talk to about this. And I'm like, I like basically rejoined Facebook to be in a group to talk about it. I'm on 2 subreddits about it. I just listen, join in the craziness if you dare.
Well, I think we tried to dare, and then it didn't quite work out, but that's just us. At least we gave it a shot. I will recommend yet again. Is that black enough for you? To check that out when you can.
Mhm.
But also the Black Twitter app. I guess name pending, but as far as I know, it's still that. And it is on iOS. It is on Android. It's also a actual website. So I will definitely leave links. I was going to say I'm pointing below as if people can see me pointing below, but it's in the description. You'll have links. You can find what you need to look for. But no, my real recommendation. Get this. It's actually a book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I read, or rather, again, Ashley was like, no, you had that read to you. Whatever. I consumed the book. That is the point.
Yeah, that counts. Yeah.
Yes. So I say read. I read the book. Whatever. The book is called It Is Not TV. I'm sorry. It's Not TV. The Spectacular Rise, Revolution, and Future of HBO. So,
Okay.
yeah. It basically just takes you, obviously, through the history of HBO to where they are. I want to say now, but this book had to finish at some point. HBO is still going, and it's actually going through another transition with another CEO and all these changes. And I wished that it could just include what's happening right now, because I would love to know the inside details of like why Batgirl was canceled, or why, a bunch of these other shows, all these animated shows from Cartoon Network just suddenly got canceled. I do know the reason why, but I want it broken down in the way that everything else in this book was. So
it sounds like, so is it a lot of history of TV or HBO?
Yeah, it's mainly the history of HBO from and it goes back and forth from whatever programming was happening and how it came to be, like how like where Lena Dunham came from and how she got to be in the room to pitch her show, to all the executives, from the ones that just started it. I mean, even at its birth of it, the transitions from one executive to the next, like why one retired or one was ousted. Also, it also details the rise of Netflix and how Netflix became HBO's rival.
Yeah.
So
wow.
I loved all of those dynamics and how it told like each of their stories and how they kind of grew to where they are now. And then it's also one of those things where you can kind of place yourselves like, ooh, I remember when that happened. And now you kind of know why that happened. Like they even discussed, and I know you remember this, when HBO was flirting with the idea of coming out with a TV show called Confederate. You remember that?
I do.
Yeah. So they talked about how that came to be and how it didn't come to be. So yeah, it was very, I felt it was very thorough. It did recommend, after I finished it, recommend another book about HBO, which I'm like, I feel like I've got a good gist of it. I don't know if I want to read some more. However, it also recommended a book about Bob Iger, who I think technically now is like my boss's 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 boss. He's
Nice.
the CEO of the Walt Disney Company again. Because this like literally just happened. In fact, hold on a second. I'm not sure if this is. Breaking news thing, but yeah. Anyway, even though this happened days ago, but still, it's still very fresh news that Bob Iger did. I don't know if he retired, if he just decided to leave, but he is now the CEO again, because the old CEO, I think he was kind of just booted out. And people are saying like, well, he said that animated films or just animation is not for adults, just only for kids. And like, no, you got to go. No, I don't know the full details. Yeah, it's wrong. But I'm still I'm curious and interested to know about Bob Iger and his philosophy. I don't know if he wrote the book or the book is like he had maybe somebody write it. He just did interviews. I have no idea. It's kind of flirting with the idea of that being my next read. But yeah, definitely check out It's Not TV, the HBO story. That's not what it's called, but it's about HBO. Especially if you like, especially if you like entertainment and the behind the scenes. That's good. So
very interesting. Thank you for that, Rick.
No problem. Now we can wrap up. I know you haven't been much on social media or any. Well, no, I take it back. You've been on Facebook and Reddit, but was there anywhere else that you want people to find you, or do you don't want to be found right now? Are you still kind of incognito?
Pretty much incognito. I'm still around, and I just like to lurk in the shadows. So if you see me, then no, you didn't. Just for now, though.
Fantastic. When you do join Black Twitter, make sure that you put a few posts out there so we know who you are, and definitely tag me. So that way I can be like, hey, she's legit. She's my co-host. She's my friend. She's real. So, because there are a lot of people that have joined or signed up, but they haven't really said anything. And we've got theories as to why that is. We're thinking that some people are kind of like, okay, at least I have a space over there, but I'm still going to interact with regular Twitter or wherever I am. And then if Twitter goes down, then at least I can just hop over here. I also have the theory that there's just a bunch of lurkers, because a lot of people do that on Twitter anyway. They just get an account, but they don't tweet anything. They just kind of look at other people tweeting. So could be. Just as long as you're not, mean or disrupting things, causing trouble. It's all good. But I think that'll just about do it. I don't have my my usual script that I like to read, but thank you so much for listening to the Indoob podcast. You can find all things at indoob.com. Follow me at indoob on Black Twitter and regular Twitter. And remember to wash your legs, your feet, bottoms of your face. Oops. I started too early. Because I don't remember how long this is timed for. So wash your face, your dishes, the bottom of your dishes, and your legs. I've been your benevolent host, T. Sterling Watson. And remember, if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Indoob podcast. To get more Indoob in your life, check out indoob.com, patreon.com/Indoob, and of course, merch over at TeePublic. Email us your Ask Indoob questions, comments, or just say hi at indoobpod@gmail.com. Linky dinks in the descripts. Please rate, comment, follow, subscribe, and hashtag tell your friends. Until next time.